From Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report. Black-empowered Kalagadi Manganese expects to start producing manganese ore at its maiden mine in South Africa's Northern Cape within the next year. South Africa's Mineral Resources Minister Susan Shabangu comments on what is considered a BEE success story.
Well, this is a great project, I must say, the first of its kind in the world, where we're seeing a woman having gone out and being so bold and ambitious to set up such a big plant. You normally find, even if women are involved, it's in small ways. But here we have this ambitious woman who has successfully launched a project where it's 68% owned by women. I think we must commend and regulate and recommend her. But I think what is key, we're seeing these policies being translated into action, into reality. And this implementation for this particular province, it's very, very important because it brings hope to the province.
Bulk infrastructure, specifically in terms of rail, available to the manganese industry in South Africa is currently still somewhat limiting. But Kalagadi's technical director, David Well-Beloved, tells us how the company is approaching this problem.
If you look at the rail picture, as it is now, the bottleneck is not really in the railway line, the bottleneck is at the port. We currently have a capacity of 4.2 million tonnes of export via Port Elizabeth, and this is supplemented by 2 million tonnes capability of exporting via Durban. Transnet has got plans and is starting to implement the plan to up the capacity of PE from the 4.2 to 5.9 million tonnes and keep Durban at 2 with possibilities of upping Durban to 3. So this will give us a short-term capacity of 7.9 million tonnes of manganese which would be adequate for the industry for between now and about 2013, end of 2000. Thereafter, the PE lease runs out and Transnet has to replace that carbon capacity with some, and they're currently considering Kucha and Saldanha, or both. The study that Transnet did last year together with KPMG indicated that the manganese export potential in the next 4 years would be 12 to 16 million tonnes from South Africa, with a capacity to grow to 20 in 5 years thereafter. So this is indeed in Transnet's planning, and with us as the manganese industry working together with Transnet, I'm sure that we will be able to get this right.
In addition, government has also set up a plan to tackle the overall infrastructure constraints hampering the country's mining industry.
Well, I must say that government, having recognized that mining, it's one of the job creators, but also it's a sunrise industry in South Africa. We have agreed as government that 3 departments are going to be key. That's Mineral Resources, Department of Public Enterprise, Department of Transport, including its parastatals like Transnet, Eskom, to come together, and we, in the 4 provinces, which is Northern Cape, Northwest, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, we must create an overlay.
Kalagadi chairperson Daphne Mashile-Nkosi tells us about possible future plans that may be on the cards.
Within the 3 properties that we have, there's 960 million tonnes. Nothing stops us from actually seeking the second shaft and actually increasing the capacity or actually increasing the production.
Other news making headlines this week include the announcement that high wage increases put the brakes on employment growth. Deputy President Kgaleme Motlanthe says South Africans should put ideology aside to find jobs and growth solutions. And Economic Development Minister Ebrahim Patel calls for an improvement to South Africa's labour market stats. South Africa was set for gross domestic product growth of above 4% for the next 3 years, but the growth story didn't support the necessary employment expansion, says Bureau for Economic Research economist Hugo Pinaar.
If you continuously push up the cost of labour, you sort of become quite uncompetitive compared with, let's say, the likes of China, India, the countries we compete with in terms of export markets. For example, we sort of pricing ourselves out of the market. So what you sort of find then is there's no incentive for business to really expand their employment because they already, with the existing workforce, they have to pay a lot more. So in terms of trying to rein in costs, it does nothing for employment.
Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe calls on South Africa's social partners to set aside differences in interests and ideology to find solutions to the country's unemployment crisis and to support the stimulation of a dynamic and inclusive economy.
The economic trends and the experience of social dialogue point to the need to prioritize employment creation in economic policy. This priority is articulated in the new growth path, which provides the overarching strategic direction for our economic policies.
Economic Development Minister Ebrahim Patel calls on researchers and academics to help governments improve South Africa's labour market statistics, which he believes remain distorted by the flawed information gathering process of apartheid and possibly also by the increased deployment of labour broking.
Since 1994, the statistics authorities have covered the African population, but they've had to develop new instruments for that purpose. We currently publish 2 surveys of employment. The one is based on a household survey, knocking on doors and speaking to people, the quarterly labour force survey, and the other is a survey of businesses, the quarterly employment survey. Now, the household survey is comprehensive and covers the whole economy, and the business survey excludes the informal sector and agriculture.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insight into South Africa's real economy.
Led by Martin Creamer, Mining Weekly's bureaus in Perth, Johannesburg and Toronto deliver unrivaled global coverage of the resources industry and the companies shaping it. Creamer Media's Mining Weekly for mining news around the clock.